Hello, Card Runners members. This is Zach Elwood, the author of Reading Poker Tells. This is a new training video aimed at improving your live poker skills. This one is about eye contact tells and the tendencies players sometimes exhibit when they hold weak or strong hands. It uses Pius Heinz, the 2011 World Series of Poker main event champion, as an example of someone who had some significant eye contact patterns. So a lot of people ask me what the most reliable types of poker tells are. And I think eye contact tells are probably one of the most important ones, or the ones you see the most often, and the most reliable. So people with these kinds of eye contact tells are going to have one of two types of tendencies. The first tendency is they'll be more likely to stare at their opponent when bluffing and avoid eye contact when they're value betting. The other tendency, the reverse, is they'll be more likely to avoid eye contact when bluffing, and they'll stare at their opponent when value betting. Those are two opposite ways that this tell could show up, and most people, well, the people that have those tells will show one or the other. Some people won't have this kind of tell. So I try to look for one of those tendencies when players are making significant turn and river bets, and sometimes with big bets pre-flop too, it might show up, but usually just on the significant the bigger turn and river bets is what I'm looking for. So let's look at some televised footage that I think shows this tendency pretty well. This is footage of Pius Heinz from the 2011 World Series main event final table. So the first time I noticed this tell with him when I was watching it was in this hand here. So let's just watch it through from the beginning or near the beginning, and you can watch it and see if you notice anything eye contact related.
Talk to them during breaks or whenever they can about what the other player has.
So Stashko has just raised him. You can see to 4.25, and Heinz is thinking. I'll just tell you now he has aces, pocket aces, is what Heinz has. And you'll probably notice that Heinz isn't looking too much at Stashko, barely at all. He's looking down, barely looking at him after he bets, making a little bit of eye contact, but very little. We'll watch the flop too.
Look at this. The pattern continues. There's the call.
I don't know. Going in, I don't think Heinz is very strong, but we're going to find out some more information, see what happens on the flop.
$21.5 million in the middle. Deuce 4.
So Heinz has pocket aces. Obviously, a pretty good flop for that.
Is it frustrating when you put so much in the middle pre-flop and then like
obviously he's looking down a lot, not looking at Stashko at all, hardly.
You know, it's unlikely that Stashko has a piece of that flop either. So he can't.
But the most significant part of this is
to continue on some level.
In my book, I talk about categorizing tells by before you bet and after you bet, and the significance of this tell is usually during and after a bet, because that's when it's most likely to be seen. So I usually try to notice this right at the moment of betting, and the moments after the betting is usually when it's most significant. So let's watch him when he bets. He makes a little bit of eye contact, but stays mostly looking down. All right, so then Stashko folds, so we'll stop it there. But this was that was very different behavior from how Heinz usually looked in most spots. He liked to stare at his opponents a lot. So we'll look at now. Let's look at some hands where Heinz was betting vulnerable hands or bluffs, so you can see some baseline behavior that he usually had.